It is the Fantasy Golf Degenerates show for the Wasted Management Phoenix Open down in Arizona this week. And as always, this show is brought to you by Underdog. Use code Mayo for up to $1,000 deposit bonus. And as always, I'm brought to you by my gorgeous, my trend-setting, my charismatic co-host, Kenny motherfucking Kim. Kenny, what's up?
All right. Hey, Byron, what is up, man? Yeah. So make sure you go to Underdog this week, especially. If you guys have been sort of like, toying with the idea, haven't joined Underdog yet, this is the week. It's Super Bowl week. They got all the crazy profit boosts. You can get the deposit match up to $1,000 using promo code Mayo. You also get profit boosts like 50%, 77%. They got all this crazy stuff, basically free money when it comes to it for the Super Bowl weekend. Now, it also has the golf stuff, and golf hasn't really been that great for me in Underdog so far this season, but this week, it was a pretty good week, pretty good tournament we saw this past week at Pebble, am I right? I thoroughly enjoyed it. I don't know about you. I enjoyed it. I actually thought the coverage was better. Outside of the, little gap coverage that they had where you couldn't see the leaders play, the most famous hole at Pebble Beach, the seventh hole, because of the gap that they had. I had to watch some stupid Big Ten game that went 20 minutes over and I did not give a fuck about. But other than that, I thought like the players looked like, outside of Tom Kim, the players looked like they were playing pretty quickly. Like, I guess maybe the threat of the PGA Tour showing everyone the time clocks and stuff like that, maybe that threat worked. I don't know, because it seemed like everybody played faster. It didn't seem like the rounds were longer. But let's get to the actual golf. Rory, when you see prime Rory like that, that is fun, man. That is a lot of fun to watch. You got talk about Rory. Go ahead.
That par 5 where he's like, when you like video gaming it and you just aim out of the screen and you like, because that's the cheat code. When you hit the super boost on your, like, you just smash that X button like on the Xbox or whatever.
It's like a C3 on Golden Tee. You know what I'm saying? You C3 that bitch and bang it with the forward roll. I mean, that's what the fucking shot looked like to me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All 4 days.
He's got a setting that no one else can get to right now.
Crazy.
And his accuracy, Kenny, with that distance, it's not like he's
crazy,
but Jesusing it into some guy's backyard. It's like really accurate right now.
If you remember in the off season, he said that like he was fucking around with his swing. He didn't like what he was doing, and he hit into a blank screen for 3 straight weeks. Didn't go on the course, didn't go to the range, just hit drivers into that blank screen for 3 weeks. And ever since ever since that point in time, he's coming first, fourth, and first in the 3 events that he's had since then. Pretty impressive stuff. And I do want to get back to Rory and talk about him a little bit more, but the rest of the event was great. I mean, really, Rory took over on the back 9 and made it a little bit less exciting than it possibly could have been. But, Shane Lowry out there doing his thing. I added Shane Lowry live 45-1 on Friday night with 4 places. My second runner-up live bet of the season with Nico at the Sony. So make sure you follow me on Twitter at KendoVT to get those live bets going. I had the place on both of them, so that was a nice little bonus. Cam Davis hitting an amazing chip shot on 18, where it looked like he probably could have broke his wrist. Justin Rose hitting that 3-wood bumper, banging
after Cam Davis did that.
Banging it right off the flag, and that was huge for me. Yeah. I gave out my entire cash lineup last week, and if you tailed, you won. But it wasn't without a sweat because Justin Rose at that point in time, heading into 18, I was right on the line. Like, that's the thing about me in cash this season. This is the first cash that I've had, I think, this season so far, which is not great. But all my cash lineups have been like right on the edge of the cash line. Like 1 birdie, 1 bogey, a couple of placements. Like, that's all it took. So I thought it was going to happen again. But Justin Rose made that, and I jumped up easily into the cash. And that shows you how hard it is to cash, where
some placements.
1 eagle and bumping up 2 places jumped me like 40, 50 spots.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, like
Literally.
a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a good week there. Also had the Justin Rose each way. So profitable week for me. Really enjoyed the tournament. I thought Saturday was great with the players struggling out there. I thought Sunday was really, really good. I saw, and the thing about it is on Sunday, what I saw at some point, CBS had this thing where it was like in the middle of the round, maybe around 3, right in the start of the round, maybe around 3:30, 3:45. They showed 7 shots in a row of all the top guys, with no like watching them, straddle the ball and line up. It was shot, 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 just like me in my 20s. Shot, 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 Rumplemans. Shot, 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 shot. Like it was great. I was like, so we know they can do it, right? We know they can do it. I think the ratings should improve. I don't know how much they will. No football, but who cares? The golf was good. I thought it was a fun watch. It was a cathedral course or whatever the fuck Rory called it, a cathedral of golf. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Any other aspects of this past week that you wanted to talk about?
I have another shotgun after the shots celebration there, Kenny. But Shane Lowry, talk about an unserious competitor. Okay. This motherfucker does not ever embrace being in the lead. Whenever he's in the lead, he plays like me. Whenever he's chasing, he plays like Rory. That's just Shane Lowry. Rory got so far ahead, then Shane just rocketed like down the stretch, which didn't work out for Showdown at all. But he is just not a serious. Do you think he's ever going to win a tournament, Kenny?
Yeah, of course he is. Of course,
on the PGA Tour.
Of course he is. The guy this year, right now, in the last 10 events, I think he's finished outside the top 15 once in his last 10 worldwide events. I mean, the dude is going to be solid. I feel
he's consistent.
Okay, if you're gonna go ahead and shotgun beer, I'll go ahead and eat my edible right now. Then let's
good,
just
baby.
Get this going.
I got 2 more. Maybe we do another 2.
Let's get this going.
So it's gonna be a fun. It's the wasted management, baby. We are not messing around. I've got a pen over here somewhere that I can zip on as well. We can just get completely off the rails, Kenny, right away.
Let's talk a little bit more about Rory.
Absolutely.
I thought his win was great. 27th win on tour. Right? 40 plus worldwide, And the thing is, right now we're talking about it because it was a great win. It was a great big deal. But in the long run, I feel like wins like these aren't going to do anything to his legacy.
Well, not anymore.
Not anymore because he's already has. It's all about majors for him.
Yeah. There's no difference between 27 and 26.
Exactly. And I think it's going to come down. He needs to win a major. He really needs a major.
Yes.
If anyone needs a major like in the world, it's Rory. Now,
PGA
I don't
Championship, Kenny.
I don't think it's going to happen at the Masters. I think there's too much scar tissue. I think there's too much pressure. I think it might happen at some point in his career, but he's got to get another one first, I think.
Yes.
I think this is the year, right? This has to be the year. The way he's playing, the way he's matured. I mean, it wasn't that long ago where I don't give him too much shit for this. But he was out there, peeling out of the U.S. Open after he lost, wouldn't shake by Bryce's hand. Look, I get it. It was a horrible, horrible way to lose. I'm not gonna talk shit about that. But what he said this past week about watching Scotty, basically that's what you got to do. You got to emulate the best. That's what all these golfers have done with Tiger, and now Scotty's up there. He's the best. And the big thing that Rory talked about was like mental, like making the correct plays, not being overly aggressive, playing to what is in front of you and what is given. That's major talk to me, right? That's major talk to me. And I think it's going to happen. I think it's going to be either at Quail or it's going to be at Portrush, or it could be both. I see him 9-1 right now at both. I think 9-1 or 8-1. And
I think there's an 11 on DraftKings for PGA still.
Is it 11?
Which we gave away on the preview show, by the way.
I'm tempted. But we've said this before about him. It's not the first time we've said this. He's had wins in 8 straight seasons now. 10 of his last 13. Even after his last major, like 17 or 18 of his PGA Tour wins have come after
His
those
last
4
major.
majors.
That's incredible.
So you expect it to happen, but do you believe it will, Byron? Like, do you think he can get over that hump? It
Kenny,
looks like this is his best shot. If he doesn't do it this year, how much trouble is he in?
Exactly. But I think he's super resilient. He's got, such a good, maybe his mental capacity on the golf course isn't the greatest, but his capacity, like his mental stamina and just ability to withstand crap and shit and bad breaks off the course, he's incredible. Like he comes back I guess the Open Championship was a complete disaster, but he comes back and he's ready to go every single time for the most part in the majors. So I think he's got it. And Kenny, we said on the preview show, he's had 4 majors and he's won 4 times at Quail. It'll be the holy pentinity when he does it there, because it'll be his 5th win at Quail, his 5th major. Baby, it's like written in the goddamn stars.
Maybe it'll be Oakmont, because Oakmont should shoot him too, and that's what people aren't really talking about. Like when it comes to it, like when so many people think that one person's going to win, especially like a Rory or somebody like that, it rarely happens, right? It rarely happens. I do think it's possible this year, and I want it to happen. He's good for the game, right? I mean,
he is.
He does the most incredible stuff on the course that people still are in awe about. And
who would you say,
Kenny, see it that often?
After Spieth is the next needle mover? Is it Rory?
I mean, yes, but I don't really think there is. He does, but he needs to win more majors. If he wins more majors and gets to 5, 6, 7, then people are going to watch and really pay attention.
But also people are going to watch him struggle.
Like, yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know.
But he's
at this point in time, I don't want to talk about the growth of the game anymore. I don't want to talk about the ratings. Let's talk about the golf. And when it comes to the golf, the man is been the best in the last 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
Right.
And for him to win at Pebble.
Yeah.
Sorry, I keep jumping over you today.
No, you're good. You're good. Most wins in the last 20 years. He has, I think in the last 15 years, since 2010, I think number 2 is Dustin Johnson. I think there might be the only 2 guys that have more than 20. I think, don't quote me on that. But yeah, it's good. It was really fun watching. I wish it was a little bit tighter, but I mean, I enjoyed watching Rory. I enjoyed the event. One other topic, this past week, I saw a stat this past week about Jordan Spieth. Says that he has not finished a tournament within 12 strokes of the leader since last year's Waste Management Phoenix Open. Like, in the words of Andrea Bocelli, is it time to say goodbye to fucking Jordan Spieth? I mean, is he done? Like, I saw a glimpse on Sunday with the bogey fee round, 67. But like, the thing about Jordan is when he was at his peak, other golfers were still way more talented than him. The talent level, he doesn't really have it. What he had was that mental capacity to take a really bad situation and turn it into something positive. And that's a huge thing, especially in majors and difficult courses, right? But with all the trials and tribulations that he has had in the last 5, 6, 7 years, I don't think that's going to come back. Do you think Jordan Spieth is ever going to win again?
I don't know, Kenny, because he's like doing a dumbass thing once a tournament. That's the problem. He's not capable of just 72 holes of normality, which we are not expecting from Jordan Spieth, but the abnormalities now are bad abnormalities. They're not good abnormalities anymore, because a 79 losing 7.5 strokes to the field on a Saturday around Pebble, where he's played incredible good golf, in wind where he is usually very, very good.
On the bright side, the next day he comes in bogey free, 5 under.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It's like scar tissue. It's all of these top guys. We spoke about this last week. They don't know how to win anymore.
He doesn't have the talent that other golfers have that are elite, right? He just doesn't. His ball striking was never, he had a couple of good years, but it's never been elite like these guys here. It all came down to putting, and it all came down to his mental. And his putting has been shitty, and his mental, I don't think he can get ever back to where it used to be. So I don't know. I don't. I'm tempted. I don't think. What about this week? Let's just break it down. Any type of uh inkling of playing him this week at 80 something $100?
Again, it's the ownership thing. I'm not going to play him when there's a lot of people on him, and
Yeah.
I don't
Well,
know.
I mean, will there ever be a lot of people on him? I don't know. I don't
I
know.
don't know. I don't know.
I don't know. A couple of other things. Let's talk about Scotty leading, coming back from getting sliced by Tom Kim, with his butterfly knife, hurting his hand, going out there and leading the field in strokes gain approach. I mean, he was 200-1 at one point in time, and he was 4 strokes back on Sunday. I was like, sure, why
Yeah.
not? Right? You know what I'm saying? Like, why
You
not?
never know.
Yeah. It didn't pan out, but I mean, this week, man, he looks like he's back, and it looks scary. It looks like it's scary again, and it's going to be tough to bet without him. I'm betting no Scheffler without Scheffler on all my bets this week.
Okay. I like that. I think that's a good move because I also haven't placed a lot of bets either, Kenny. I'm like still trying to weigh up the situation. Do I want to do the without markets? Do I want to just live bet it? Maybe he blows up and then you get in. Like, what are we going to do? But again, going to this place, it's like literally set your clock to Scotty Scheffler finishing inside the top 5. Maybe that's all I do is just bet him top 5 and call it a day. See what happens in that department over there. I don't know, Kenny. He also, he was doing the stuff that Jordan Spieth used to do. Did you see the first couple holes, like 3 and 4? Yes, Scotty Scheffler from 70 yards out for his 3rd shot. Like, he'd hit it somewhere where he couldn't even get close to the green. Next thing, he hits it like Steve Stricker. He pitches like Steve Stricker in a weird way, like super rigid and upright and 2 inches. Like, he's thinking about holding it from that far away, and he's just impenetrable. It's incredible what he's up to. Like, he had probably one of his worst rounds you'll have or tournaments you'll have this year, and he finished 9th.
So he finished 9th, his 3rd worst finish in the last 12 months.
Yes, exactly. There we go. I know.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
That's insane. It's
crazy.
so insane, dude. He's been incredible. He's negative odds to finish top 5 this week. Again, I was taking a look at his odds for everything that's happened in the last year. He's been negative odds for top 5 like half the tournaments. Like, anytime it's not a signature event field, he's like more than 50% books telling you that he's going to finish top 5. It's insane. We haven't seen something like this since the cat. So I don't know. I don't know how people are going to contend against him this week, but if there's one person, it's Nick Taylor, baby. Just get into a playoff with Scotty Scheffler. I want to see that.
I mean, 6 of the last 9 times Waste Management has been a playoff, and it always seems to happen. Always seems to run over the Super Bowl. So at some point in time, I stopped going to Super Bowl parties because I was like, I got to watch the last thing, and people aren't going to watch the playoff of the Waste Management when the Super Bowl is about to start. But it should be a good game. We'll talk a little bit more about Scheffler. How I was thinking about betting him with the Super Bowl included and stuff like that in our betting section here in a little bit.
Who are you guys going for the Super Bowl?
Who we pulling?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I would. Here's the thing. The Eagles have been like the best team, like in the NFL for the last 16 weeks, 17 weeks. What are they like? 16-1, 17-1. In the last 17, 18 weeks, the only loss to the Commanders, of course, and then they came back and just throttled us. Last week
When it mattered.
and now that's true. Now. And Kansas City has been sort of lollygagging the whole season. Yeah, they sort of, go ahead. God damn, how many are you fucking doing? What is that? Is that like a Busch Light?
It's a Keystone Light.
Keystone.
Always smooth. Keystone Light, baby.
All right. I'm not much of a beer drinker anymore. But what were we talking about? We're talking about, So I mean, I think a lot of people were saying Scheffler and the Kansas City money line. I'll go ahead and talk about this now. The reason why I couldn't make that bet, because I wanted to bet Scheffler. Okay? He's plus 350, 3.5 to 1. I would need to bet more than my allotted bankroll a week to win what I normally wanted to win. Like, I would have to bet $400. No, more than $400. And usually my allotted is around $350. Though that could change here because I'm going less on DFS, and we'll talk about that also. Now, if I added that, you get like 6 or 7 to 1, but I'm not sure about who's going to win. I think it's a toss-up. I think it's 50-50 when it comes to this Super Bowl. I don't give the Kansas City Chiefs an edge. I think it's going to be
has the better team, but Kansas City plays like the better team. If that makes any sense.
I could agree with you. I think they have better coaching too. Nick Sirianni's a fucking chump.
Yeah, I hate that guy.
Yeah,
he's like him and Shane Lowry. If I ever saw them together, I would just punch them both at the same time and just get my ass kicked from then on out.
You definitely get your ass kicked. Well, actually, no, you're like 6'3", like 250. You probably take him on.
Well, if I've had enough shotguns, I'll be good to go.
Shit, I forgot. You're like a monster. So,
You take Sirianni out first, and then Shane, I can walk away from Shane. He's not going to catch me.
You're not going to catch your ass. That's true. All right.
I'll just pretend I'm in the lead of a tournament. Anyway, but yeah, Patrick Mahomes MVP, baby. That's just how you rock and roll this week.
Yeah. All right.
That's the bit. All right. Let's pay some bills, baby.
Underdog Fantasy is the easiest place to play fantasy sports. It's also the fastest growing fantasy app in the industry. I personally like the pick'em games. Pick whether your favorite players will have a higher or lower stat total in this week's game for a chance to win big. Can win up to 100 times your money in a single night. Pick between 2 and 5 players to build a pick'em entry. Can also make rivals picks, which pits 2 players against each other. Now, the reason I like the pick'em games is because of these things called scorchers. There's these little chili peppers next to the golfers' names, and if you click on that, it adds to your multiplier, so you can win even more money. Sign up today with promo code Mayo and get your first deposit doubled up to $100, as well as an instant pick'em special. Must be 18 or over and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-522-4700 or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
All right, so we are back. Let's look over our YouTube contest winner. Remember, we do this every single week. Go to our YouTube page, go into the comments section, pick who you think is going to win. The first person with the correct answer will get a free month of Byron's Discord, Patreon, whatever the fuck you call it. Byron, what do you get on that shit?
You get everything. You get my showdown models, you get my betting research tool, you get my matchup tool, you get my placements, and you just get to chat with everybody that's in this Discord as I make my bets. You get all of those. So it's just a great time, and we like learning about golf, betting daily. It's awesome to just hear and take into account what everyone in there is saying. So it's been a fun time doing that, and I look forward to the next winner to get in there with us.
The next winner, we had one person pick Rory last week. And remember, make sure you go put that winner in or leave a comment. Do something. Leave a comment, subscribe, do all that stuff. It's great for the algorithm. It brings more eyes to our show, and it makes it a broader reach. This is what, of course, we are trying to do. The winner last week was Joey Pan KIW 607. He picked Rory to win. So he didn't leave his information. Make sure you leave a way to contact you so we can get you your prize when you go onto the YouTube comment page. But he is our winner. Get in touch with us, Joey, and we'll get you that free month of Byron's Discord Patreon. But let's move on to this week. PGA Tour is in Phoenix this week as the golfers take on the stadium course at TPC Scottsdale for the Waste Management Phoenix Open. The Waste Management is one of the most exciting and most attended events on tour. Expect over 500,000 fans to attend this event this week. Now, in the past, I have thought that, hold on, I just lost my place. In the past, I thought that, golfers need to be thoroughly prepared for the stadium hole on 16, but I somewhat relinquished that position because it's really only one hole, right? Talking to people that go to this event, the other 17 holes are tranquil. Right? I mean, everybody is on 16. I think most golfers can pony up and play 16 without letting it get into their heads, since the rest of the course should be probably a little bit quieter than other events that you see this year. So basically, I'm putting a little stock into the 16 messing with golfers' psyche. And the reason why this is important is because course history is one of the stickiest at this course. Like, if you've
Third
played well here
stickiest
in
on
the
the
past,
PGA.
yeah, if you've played well here in the past, you're probably going to play well here again, right? And for the longest time, I thought that was because of 16. But I don't think that's it. I think it's just the way the course is set up, and how it's played. And so, I think that when it comes to the course stickiness, I don't think you worry about 16. You just worry, look at the course history, and not that many debutantes have done well here either. And I think that's just, getting used to the bent overseed. The Bermuda overseed on the rough, on the greens. It's getting used to the firmer conditions because, what we've seen, in the events prior to this is softer conditions. Normally, desert golf, you're going to see the ball bounce a little bit more in the fairway, a little bit more on the green. Now, we'll see if that actually happens. But, especially because the weather is supposed to actually be nice this week, not that windy.
Very
it's supposed to be nice and warm. Normal usual score here is, mid-teens to high teens under par. I think we can get to 20, maybe a little bit more than 20 under par this week just because of the conditions. Now, let's actually get to the course. The stadium course at TPC Scottsdale, it's around a 7,200 yards, 77,250 plus yard, par 71, 4 par 3s, 3 par 5s. All the par 5s are reachable in 2 by the majority of golfers, and the 17th hole is a risk-reward drivable par 4. The course was redesigned by Tom Weisskopf after 2014. He was hired to make the course tougher, so he added length, made landing areas on the fairways smaller, added bunkers, and redid the greens. It looks like he did his job. It averaged like the 37th, 38th easiest course on tour prior to the redesign. Since then, it's around 25th, easiest course on tour. So, it's right in the middle, which is not a horrible place to be, especially nowadays where we're seeing 30 under par win some events. Like if you, since the redesign, what we've seen is more elite golfers have started winning this event. Until last year, no one over 50 to 1 has won this event since 2015. Nick Taylor was the first since 2015 that was over 50 to 1 to win. Now, off the tee, golfers are going to see narrow landing areas with bunkers placed strategically. Even though this tournament is played in a desert, water still in play on 7 holes. And if golfers miss wildly, they're going to have to deal with cactuses and shit, right? The rough around the fairways has been thicker the last few years. I expect that to be the same this week, though it won't be as thick as what we saw in like Torrey Pines or something like that. The course is set up about 1,200 feet above sea level, and with the arid desert conditions, drives should go a bit further than normal. This course is routinely in the top 5 hardest fairways to hit courses on tour. Much of this has to do with the fact that this is a driver-heavy course. This is like the driver course. Like last year was like 85% of drivable, holes.
Just hit driver.
Use drivers, right? So that's probably why. You hit it in, a lot of people hit it into the rough, but it doesn't really affect it too much because honestly, the course, if you're going to use driver that much on a course that's like this, 1,200 feet above sea level, you're going to see a lot of like 150 to 200 shots and stuff like that. There is a fair amount of 450 to 500 yard par 4s here. So you're going to see those shots from 150 to 200, plenty of those. Plenty of from 200 plus because of the par 5s and a couple of par 3s. Now, on approach shots, golfers are going to see, a wide array of green sizes ranging from small to very large. Overall, the square footage is more than tour average. Bunkers guard the majority of the Bermuda grass. Greens and water will be an issue for some golfers who aren't accurate with their irons. The greens are overseeded with velvet bent and other grasses, so it's not your typical Florida Bermuda. Like, this is not that grainy move with the sun. You got to pay attention to, where the sun is and shit. You got to see like the color. Is that darker green? Is that lighter green? It's not that type of fucking Bermuda. This is like carpet Bermuda. This is like bent, basically. Like
yes.
Pure carpet bet grass is the most similar thing that I can think of when it comes to these greens. The 3 courses on tour that use this grass are Copperhead and Quail Hollow. Okay? So we've seen guys who played those courses well, play this.
Sam
JT
Burns
played this well. Sam Burns, Valspar plays this course well. This course is one of the easiest courses to putt on from 5 to 10 feet. If you're on team no putt, this can happen. Now, you can also go lights out putting and win. We saw last year. Well, here's the thing. Nick Taylor and Charlie Hoffman were in the playoff last year. Finished 1 and 2. They were 1 and 2 in putting. They were also 9th and 2nd in approach. But even to confuse you even more, third and fourth was Scheffler and Sam Burns. They were 1 and 2 in strokes gained off the tee. Yeah. Lots of ways to win this event, right? Yeah. Lots of ways. The easiest, the stuff that I'm looking for is good medium iron play, okay? Good strokes gained off the tee. Those are the 2 big things that I am going to be looking for this week. You know, and some other like trends, right? Of the last 13 winners here, 12 have had a top 7 in their previous 5 events leading up to their victory at TPC Scottsdale. Byron, what are you looking for in golfers this week?
12 of 13, Kenny. That's an incredible trend right there.
Yeah. Trends don't mean shit, guys.
I know.
We say these trends. Like, I'll talk these trends because people like them and you can get an idea, maybe use it as a tiebreaker or something. But I'm not like living or dying with these trends. I just think they're cool sometimes. And this is a pretty cool number, right? But it goes to show you that since, you know, the redesign in like 2014, the times that this course has been played, you're seeing a lot of like elite golfers win this event. Last year, of course, was the exception.
Was that Nick Taylor? Was the one of the 13 that didn't?
No, Nick Taylor was. Nick Taylor
was part of it?
Nick Taylor finished 7th at the Sony about 4 weeks prior to his win at the Waste Management last year.
Who's the guy?
I don't remember. I made when I wrote this course preview back in like 2016, basically, you know, I've made adjustments since then, but I mean,
minor alterations.
Yeah. The meat and bones of this was back then. And that stat I've probably had in this write-up since like 2019. So I just look at the year before, you know what I'm saying? I just look at the year before now, since this stat was verified by me back when back in like the heyday, in 2019. So I just kept with it.
I love it, Kenny. We call that the Pareto principle. You know, that's what I live my life by. You 20% effort, 80% results. You know, that's kind of what you're looking to do. You know, because the extra 80% effort only gets you the next 20% results. So you just want to like do as minimal as you can for as maximum as possible. You know, optimize that effort there. But looking for guys, I think the general path to playing well here is just tee to green. Like you said, it's like team no putt, tee to green from 150 to 200, being in good form. You know, I think that's not the worst idea here. We can get into our betting and the DFS tiers later to see what's going on, but it's a pretty simple situation. And again, the course history is the 3rd most predictive of all courses on the PGA Tour. So guys that play well here will play well here again. And there's a reason they do, because of that no puttness, because the easiest thing to do on repeat is just get it on the goddamn green, because that's just what Scotty Scheffler does, and that's why he plays so well. Yeah. So that's not too complicated this week. Just lots of course history, lots of good ball striking, and a little bit of around the green magic though, because that is a bit more normal than to an average. Yeah. Kenny.
All right. Yeah.
I don't know who was going to go next there yet, so I had to make sure I said your name.
I mean, you're the host, dog. Run the show, motherfucker. Shit.
Let's get to our kickback golf strategies for this week for the betting cards. And as always, use code FGD15 because, as you can tell, the sources have dried up. We have not had a good behind the scenes story from Kenny Kim yet.
I'll be honest, I haven't gotten really fucked up in a while. Like exactly. That's usually when the ideas come. Like when I am like fucked. Like I'm like, really, really fucked up.
Exactly.
And I don't get really, really fucked up very much often anymore.
And
So when I
what
do
you
is usually
need-
when the stories come.
Exactly. And how you get fucked up is when you have money in your wallet. So use code FGD15 to support this show, because Kickback
I mean,
Golf
when I was
and
broke,
us,
I was
And the
still
bad
getting really
habits.
fucked up. When I was broke, I was still getting really fucked up too. So honestly, the money, people find a way. I'm one of those guys. I find a way.
Okay.
No.
So try to transition this one more time. You need to find a way to use code FGD15 to buy a Kickback Golf shirt that you're seeing on your screens right now. Look at these amazing alma maters from all these amazing golfers with really, really cool looking shirts that you can wear to just Super Bowl. Like, I mean, this is legit the Super Bowl shirt that you should rock. It's the waste management and it's basketball and baseball. I guess there's no football jerseys involved here. So, moving along swiftly to the betting part of the segment. Kenny, who the hell are we betting this week?
You want me to roll first? I mean, I got my card, basically.
Let me give you my outrights, and then you go ahead, give me yours, and I'll give you some placements after that. So, we'll start back to front today. Tristan Lawrence, priced at 250 to 1 over at DraftKings, makes no sense to me. This guy's the 50th ranked golfer in the world. So actually, it's in each way. So it's at Bet Rivers. So go check that out at Bet Rivers, 250 to 1. Dude's won on the DP World Tour like repeatedly. And it doesn't really show like when he's going to do it. I went and looked at his results. It happens -20, -9. We saw him show up at the Open Champion. This guy balled out the Open Championship. So he could be one of these guys that puts his brains out. And we grew up on a lot of bent grass down in South Africa. So you're going to get that each way at 50 to 1. Then I'm going to go ahead and go to Andrew Novak. He finished 8th here last year. It was a delightful finish. He's finished really good the last 2 tournaments. Finished 3rd at the Farmers and then another top 20 last week at Pebble. So this dude is like trending in the right direction. Again, another each way. So you're going to get that 18 to 1 each way on Andrew Novak's 90 to 1 over at Bet Rivers. Nick Taylor, 70 to 1. We've already just seen what this guy does at golf courses that he plays well at. He's won in the Sony. I feel like I'm a freaking loser that's going after the trend after the fact, but I'm still listening to the rules here. Like Nick Taylor plays well at golf courses. Nick Taylor plays well at. He's 70 to 1. It's not like I'm ruining my bankroll to go to this guy. So give me a 70 to 1 there for Nick Taylor with each ways. And then my final bet, I've got 0.6 units. I got like 60% of my bankroll still left on the table after this bet. And I'm thinking about potentially going with Hideki. We can kind of chat that through a bit, Kenny. But Sahith Theegala is my final bet at 45 to 1 this morning at Bet Rivers. Pop that in the Discord this morning. He's this dude that's just been finishing in the top 10, top 5. And last year, he was the only one from the bad weather wave to make it into the top of the leaderboard. So his candle wick had been burnt to the bottom of the candle. Like he had no more wick left on Sunday after grinding and burning and burning and burning and burning and burning and burning when it was nasty out there. And he was that guy. So I think he's one of these course history dudes too. You play him at courses that he's like Jordan Spieth, right? Call him Mediterranean Jordan Spieth. And I think you play him at these courses that require magic beans, a little bit of love, and he plays very well there. So he finished 7th at the Pro Call, Kenny, 7 starts ago. So, can add a few extra starts to your trend there. But
yeah, the
those
problem
are my guys.
I have with Theegala is he's been straight booty cheeks since the beginning of the season. Basically almost dead last at the Century, losing strokes in every single major strokes gain category all season. I can't get it. I can't get behind him. I can't get behind him in DFS. I'm not going to bet him. I can't
Course
get behind
history. I'm just banking on that.
Yeah,
I think
here's the thing when it comes to course history on guys that are like even 45 to 1. I can't. I need to see something. If you got like 100 to 1, 150 to 1, 200 to 1, 250 to 1, something like that, and there's a course history on there, and he's been playing like ass. Okay. I can't get behind Theegala. Can't do it. My first outright is going to be Tom Kim. Again, the game is good. Like he got a little bit of juice at the TGL. Like that was like
the TGL
most
Tom.
fun. That's like the most fun I've seen him have, like on playing golf since the President's Cup. We talked about that last week, right? And to see him go and do what he did, yeah, okay. He took forever, whatever. Yes, he plays slow. We all notice something's wrong with him when it comes to setup, especially on like longer irons like that. But, he's going to be a little bit closer on the par 5. And here's the thing. Dude's been driving the ball a little bit farther than normal this year. That could be why sometimes he's missing wild on like 3-woods and stuff. But because he's been hitting the ball, like he's averaging like 318 or something like that so far this season off the tee. And I know driving distance is the weird stat because there's only like 2 holes like around that count on your driving distance stat for the year. But he's like top 10 for the season. I know not everyone's played. I know stuff like that. But like prior to last week, he was like top 10 in distance. It's not going to end up there. But the guy, when he wants to give it a little poke, he can give it a little poke. And with the air being a little bit, thinner, the ball's going to travel a little bit farther. Hopefully he won't have 3-wood in his hands and take 3 minutes and swipe it into the water. I mean, it might happen. It is Tom, but the guy's been playing pretty decent golf. I liked what I saw for the most part last week. He's been making some putts of length, especially on that Sunday. I like him, and all these bets are going to be without Scotty. So no Scotty Scheffler, and all with 5 places each way. So I'm going to go Tom Kim 25-1 to start. My next is going to be...
Kenny, before you go next, I just sent you shuttle over my Sahith pick. Tom Kim is 140th in ball speed this season. So the distance thing is not even a thing. Like,
okay, well,
fake news in that department, but he's playing good golf. So I'm not going to
what about the driving distance? Like he's definitely hitting it farther than he used to. I'm not saying he's long. I'm not saying he's long.
Jesus,
I'm just saying he's hitting it farther than he used to. And we've seen it this year, and we get the rollout. I'll put money that Tom Kim whoops Thiegler's ass this week. I'll put whatever the fuck you want. I'll put it on right now. Tom Kim is going to crush Thiegler this week. Make your bet.
Keep going. I'm thinking.
You think. All right. My next bet is going to be Maverick McNeely at 45-1. What we've seen from Maverick so far this year is sort of weird, right? The good part of his game has been bad. The bad part of his game has been good. He was 6th in strokes gained approach last week, right? 6th. Almost near the bottom of the field in putting. This guy's one of the best putters routinely in the world for the last couple of years, right? He's getting onto greens where they're fucking easy, right? Maybe he can get his putting mojo back. And if he hits the ball like he's been hitting it this season so far, he's going to contend for a win soon, like before the Masters. Before the Masters, he's going to contend in another event, and I'm hoping it's this one, 45-1, Maverick McNeely, 5 places. Next is going to be Billy Horschel. This one's course history, form, not that difficult, right? He's playing really, really good golf. He's a proven winner on tour. He's 50-1 without Scotty. In this field, this is not a really good field. Like, it's not. It's like, it's Decky, Burns, Scheffler, and JT. Those are like the studs, and they're not.
And Sahith
really
good.
Look, Sahith is not going to make the cut. It probably is what I'm thinking. That guy is just off this year. He's off. And so I'm going to go with Billy Ho. He's been playing well, 50-1. All right, he had the good course history. You always play. I'm never going to make this mistake again. When Sam Stevens finished runner-up a couple weeks ago, you always play Sam Stevens on driver-heavy courses. Obviously, the form is there. 3 straight top 20s to start the year, a runner-up. Driver-heavy, the driver of drivingest drive courses there is on tour. Give me Sam Stevens, 66-1, 5 places. Next one, I do like your Novak bet. He's just playing too good. Now, could this be the week where he craters? Sure.
Obviously,
he's
it's this week, yes.
Yeah, he's outside the top whatever in the world, 75 in the world, because he's just not the most consistent guy. But he's been on a bit of a heater. He even showed up last week backdooring a top 15, top 20. I'll go ahead and take him 75-1 with 5 places. Next, Charlie Hoffman. Again, good form, good course history, 80-1, 5 places We've seen what he's been doing so far this year. He's been striking the ball. His iron play has been exceptional. Give me Charlie Hoffman, 80-1, 5 places. And I don't know why I keep betting this too. I don't know why. Maybe because it's the numbers they keep giving us, but it's Jake Knapp, 140-1, right? He showed a little something this past week, right? He was up near the top of the leaderboard the first couple of days, but maybe his game is rounding back into form. And you get him at 140-1 on a driver-heavy course where the driver is his weapon. I'm going to go ahead and take that 140-1 with 5 places. So my card for this. Oh, and you know what? This actually leaves me like a unit under my normal amount, my bet. So I will probably take on a live bet as well. Check Friday night or Saturday sometime during the round. And I'll throw live bet on there also. So Tom Kim, 20, all without Scheffler, all 5 places each way. Tom Kim, 25-1. Narry McNeely, 45-1. Billy Horschel, 50-1. Sam Stevens, 66-1. I almost call him Scott Stevens because it looks like I'm wearing Devil's colors. If you guys know who that is, you're a big hockey head. Andrew Novak, 75-1. Charlie Hoffman, 80-1. Jake Knapp, 140-1. Let's hear some of your placements.
What book is that at?
All bet 365.
Okay, because it's a weird market. I don't know if every book would have that, so I figured I would.
Bet 365 has the without Scheffler. They have the without Scheffler, without Justin Thomas, and they have the without Scheffler, Thomas, and Deck. They have all of those markets this week, plus the outrights, plus the each ways up to 12. And then they also give you the boost each ways when you do 3 places.
Yes, that's the one way I was hoping to maybe get it. Before I get into my placements, wanted to chat to you about what's keeping you off of Decky this week.
Oh, Decky.
Like, I mean, we've got JT priced ahead of Decky, and Decky's won 3 times since Justin Thomas last won the PGA Championship from a million miles behind.
I just don't want to bet anyone. I just didn't want to bet him 12-1 without Scotty. Okay. I'm not going to bet him with Scotty. I think it should be 16-1.
You don't think if there's one person in this field, Hideki could body Scotty?
Well, let's talk about Scotty. I almost bet him, right? I was going to bet him. But plus 350, I just can't do it. So I'm going to make up for it by being 100% on him in cash and GPPs. Spoiler alert. I think Scotty wins this event. I think he could win by like a lot. I think he could win by more than whatever football team wins the Super Bowl by. Like I think he could like literally dominate this week and destroy heads and betting cards. Like I am that scared of Scotty Scheffler this week. Like all of my bets are without Scotty. And when it comes to DFS, I'm just going to play Scotty 100%. Everything. First cash game cornerstone, 100% in GPPs. He could be 50% in GPPs and 80% in cash. I do not give a fuck. I do not give 2 shits. I'm going to play Scotty. I think he can win this event by 6.
Cool. I think the way to go with Scotty Scheffler then for some placements, I'm going to go ahead and put him down as a top 5 at -140. Just, it sounds like a weird bet to go with. There's a 5% edge. Usually I need 10. I'm seeing a better edge if you want to go top 10 at -250 to win your unit. You'd have to lay your 25 to win 10. Scotty's done a top 10 in 78% of his starts.
If you're going top 5 here and it's -140 and you can get plus 700, I think, hold on, let me double check. I think you can get plus 650 with Scotty. If you use the each way 3 places, right?
Ooh,
so if you're going to do that, wouldn't it make more sense? Okay, no, I lied. It's only plus 400. Yeah. It's only plus 400 for the 3.
That's insane.
Now you get 1 to 5. So it'll be like 0.8 to 1.
-120.
It'll be 0.8 to 1, which is plus money still for the 3 places. So would that be a better bet for you?
No, it's not. 0.8 to 1 is literally less than 1.
No, okay. 1.8 to 1. I'm sorry.
Okay.
1.8 to 1. is what it would be if you
For a top 3. That's getting really technical, Kenny. Just for everyone that's watching, if you want to just place a bet at any spot you can, top 5 minus 140. Place that thing right now. If you got bet 365, sure. I don't mind suggesting that as a sprinkle. I think that's not a terrible idea. It gets you some juice in the game. And I think Scotty Scheffler's redefining the whole betting landscape because everyone's been talking about 7-1, return, 8-1 return that you need to have your betting card at. Scotty, you can't bet him if you're trying to adhere to those rules. So you have to understand that he's been profitable, one, as a outright bet at the ridiculous odds that he's been at. Now, is he going to win 7 times this year? We don't know. But while he's still cooking at a golf course like this, in a field like this, take a gamble on him. If you haven't bet anyone yet, do what Kenny said, bet the 41 with the 3 places you get. That's it. That's going to be one of the best sweats you'll have all week. It's almost guaranteed to give you a good chance of paying attention on Sunday because your bet's in the mix. So if you're looking for a little live fix, that's a great way to go about it. Another way to go about some stuff is Sam Burns, plus 225 for a top 10. I keep going back to this goddamn idiot that keeps screwing me over. Last week, he was ahead of Tommy Fleetwood to start round 4 in the matchup. Tired him. Just couldn't get it done down the stretch. Finished outside the top goddamn 20, I think. And I had a top 10 bet on him last week. So we're going to go back again. Plus 225 for Sam Burns. He finishes inside the top 10 about 1 in every 3 starts. There's a small edge in that department. I'm also going to go to Justin Thomas for a top 5 at plus 300. He's been finishing inside the top 5 here. I mean, this dude's track record, Kenya, at this golf course is just insane. And it's the perfect bet for him because he just doesn't seem to get the win done lately. But you're getting a plus 300 bet on a guy that's just, again.
And just one little tidbit on JT. He was one of my cornerstones last week. Finished 48th, 14th in DraftKings scoring. 14th.
Yes.
14th in DraftKings scoring, 48th in the field. That's another reason why the cash lineup did well last week. Because even though he didn't place, the man could get some points. He could get some scoring done.
Yes, he does, especially when it doesn't matter. Like if Justin Thomas is down the leaderboard on a Sunday, you just play him in your showdowns, by the way, people. That's a little fun tidbit over there. Sung J M, top 20, a plus 105. I know he's been flashing up and down leaderboards lately, but this is the long-term bet you want to go with. He's the guy I'm going to be going with here at plus 105. He's my man. Then at plus 260 for a top 20, we're going to go back to Keith Mitchell, who, as always, we're always going to this guy in the top 20 market. He's been incredible. He's one of the top scorers. I tweeted out something earlier today where it had the top betting returns at this golf course since 2020. And Keith Mitchell is one of those names for a top 20. And Keith Mitchell is one of those names for a top 20 anyway. Like he's just finishing inside the top 20 at a routine basis right now, basically 1 in every 3 starts. So he loves this golf course. Driver heavy, Keith freaking Mitchell. Let's get to him. And then I'll throw out one more, and then we can maybe dive into a few guys down the board here again. But Harry Hall for a top 20 at plus 260. He's been doing this. If you go take a look at what Harry Hall's been up to the last little while, I bet him last week after like 5 straight top 20s entering the week, and he didn't do it, obviously. But we're going back to him again. This is what Harry Hall does. He's good with the driver when it comes to like booming it out there, and he's got some incredible around the green play. So he could easily be one of these dudes that gets it done for you in the top 20 market at plus 260. And then I'll throw out one more fun little bet before I get to my show tomorrow night, 7 Eastern on Mayo Media Network. Back 9 bets live at 7 Eastern. Minwoo Lee, minus 125 for a top 40. This dude, in his last 20 starts, and I look, there's not many, I think there's 1 or 2 signature events only in that situation, has finished 17 times in the last 20, he's finished top 40. Across DP and PGA, he didn't do the greatest last year, but he made the cut and then kind of stumbled down that stretch. But I'm totally cool with him again this week. He's a top 40 freak. He's finished inside the top 10, Kenny, 6% of the time. Inside the top 40, 78% of the time. Like that is just an insanely different, like he's just a safe play. You know, like he's a cash game play in a way, you know. So I think that's not a terrible way to get into the DFS tiers, blood and sweat for this week's Wasted Management Phoenix Open. Kenny, who are you liking at the top?
Scotty, 100%. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. 100%. 100%. 100%. Scotty.
Let's go.
Now, if I was going to play somebody else, the popular picks would be Scotty, JT, and Sam, right? We talked last week about the pivot up here, which was Rory. We said Rory was the good pivot. They don't know what his ownership would be. It'll probably be the lowest. You should probably play him. I didn't. Again, do what we say, not what we do. Decky would be that play. Decky's probably going to be the lowest owned, right? After a middling finish last week, it didn't look great. Coming in, all the other guys, at least JT scored well, right? And he's coming in. Decky JT might be pretty close. I think Scotty's going to be 50% owned. I don't give a fuck. Play him. But then, Burns is going to take up some of the ownership. People are going to like Burns after what they saw last year. A lot of people are already touting him for this week. I know Steve Bamford likes him. Go at Bamford Golf. Make sure you check his articles out every single week. But I'm just going to go Scotty. I don't give a fuck. First cash game, Cornerstone, GPPs. I've been changing my strategy in DFS because I want to add more money to my betting. So right now I put like $350 in betting, and I put like $360 in DFS. I've taken about $130 off of DFS. I haven't. Last week I with my live ads, I still was under that total amount. So mostly that stuff's going to go to live is what I
go. And I love that. I love that.
I'm gonna keep so that $130 that I would normally spend on 40 lineups.
And Kenny, I'm gonna just cut you off right away and ask you, what are you looking for when you're trying to bet things live?
The weather the next day, when the guy's teeing off, how he's looking tee to green, like on how he's looking with his ball striking. Like if the guy's like ball striking like a madness, the first couple of rounds, but he's in 28th place because he can't make a putt, and his live odds are, 50-1 with 5 places. I'll go ahead and take that risk, especially if it's like an elite guy. Like if it's an elite guy, a proven winner, right? A guy, maybe not just elite, a proven winner. How about that? And Lowry was a little bit different because that was more weather.
Definitely a proven winner. Yeah.
That was definitely more weather related when it came to Lowry. Because Friday is when I made the bet. He
Saturday,
was 8 under. He was 8 under, and I think he was like 5 strokes behind the leader or something behind Straka. And Jesus Christ, fucking Giuseppe Straka going out there balling the fuck out every fucking week. That guy, we missed about that. We missed that.
We didn't even speak about him.
There. Yeah, that guy's out there doing some crazy ass shit on the course, stepping his fucking goddamn game up. Stepping his goddamn game up. Love that guy. And I love how he's fat. Love it. For us fat people, it's great seeing other fat people succeed, my friend. But
yes.
But I forgot what topic we were talking about before I went on fatness.
We were chatting about some DFS stuff before we got to.
Who was I talking about?
The bottom end of the 10K range with Sam Burns.
That wasn't even close. I don't care. I don't remember what we were talking about. That wasn't it. Anyways, I don't remember what we were talking about. The edible's kicking in, so let's go move on to like the 9K range. How about that?
Well, I first got to give a few takes on the 10K range before we get out of here.
Play Scotty.
But
fuck everybody else.
Sure. But, Scotty he's going to be very owned. So if you want to have a few lineups that you just sneak in there that don't have him in, that's okay too. And I think my guy is going to be Hideki Matsuyama.
Now I remember what I was talking about. So let me finish real quick. So what I was changing. So now when it comes to DFS, I'm dropping at 130. I'm only doing one single lineup. And I'm putting it in like $100 single entry. That's all I'm doing. So I'm doing $100 in cash. And I put my cash lineup in a $33 single entry. And then I'm doing $100 single entry GPP. That's how I'm doing it. So for $233, I'm putting those are my lineups. And another thing, and we were also talking about live betting, what I'm looking for. when it comes to, I forget, you've been drinking shotgunning beers all the time. You're probably just as fucked up as I am. But when it comes to live betting, what I look for is what I see on TV also. You got to watch, right? You got to watch. Like if you see most of my live bets, it's people that are on featured groups. It's on, the main coverage on ESPN Plus. It's on that type of shit. It's something I'm seeing visually. If the guy, and another thing is, like I said, iron play, shitty putting. That's pretty a routine stuff and proven winner. Or a guy, basically when it comes down to it, I had Nico. I know he can win, especially in that type of field. Shane Lowry was a weather play. Make sure you pay attention to the weather, stuff like that. So that's what I'm looking for.
Love it, Kenny. Freaking goddamn love it. So that's an easy way to go about it. For me, Sam Burns, I like him for top 10. I think a better fish bet for me is a Sam Burns top 10. Don't play him in DFS. Because what do you need from your 10K guy this week to cash your GPPs?
It depends on the rest of your squad, but a top 5 is, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like Sam Burns is just not quite getting inside the top 5 as much as you would like compared to JT, compared to Rasmus Højgaard. Scotty Scheffler, obviously a totally different tier of his own. So Sung J.M., Corey Connors, Tom Kim, Sahith Gala, baby, Sepp Straka, Rasmus Højgaard, Benny Ahn, and Bobby Mack in the 9K range, Kenny. Where are we going in the nights?
I mean, I like Tom, man. It's not hard. I mean, the thing is, last year when he played this event, the first round was a disaster. It was cold. It was windy. The scoring was way up. After that round, Tom Kim was 5th in the field in scoring. Rounds 2, 3rd. If it was just 2nd, 3rd, and 4th round, he would have finished 5th, not 17th. So the man, is coming on, playing well with his current form. He maybe found a little happiness, a little joy in that TGL matchup that we saw a couple of weeks ago. I mean, that was the most fun I've seen him had. And the thing is, when you look at Tom, when he's enjoying playing the game, usually when he's in contention, right, and making long putts, I mean, like that really drives him. Like he uses that. A lot of golfers sort of tamper that down so they don't get too excited. Right. And that's probably a smart thing, but Tom's still young. He still uses that. And sometimes it might make him go a little bit crazy and might make him go 7 minutes in front of a ball trying to hit it. But when he's out there having a good time, and it seemed like he made some long putts. He had some fist pumps at Pebble. I like Tom. He's going to be a play, go Scheffler Tom, GBP starting like that.
The Texas Tango. Yeah. I like it.
Did you figure out a bet when Tom whoops fucking? Because you still owe me butterfish bet. We still haven't done that.
The butterfish bet it's a very
like I said,
sensitive situation.
I want to come to your place sometime in the nice weather, and we're gonna play golf. And I'm gonna find a sushi restaurant, and we're gonna get this done. That's probably going to be the best way to do it. That'll be. But
just shit myself on a golf course.
What do you want to lose? What do you want to lose when Tom Kim whoops Figala's ass?
I think we should give it to the people that have made it this far. You got to let us know in the comments. I can't come up with anything. I've been thinking.
Because you know you're going to lose.
Well, you know what, Kenny? I love the punishment that people give me. So
so whatever punishment is there, do I get to pick it?
No, we get
the winner.
I think the most upvoted comment. I think give it a thumbs up if you find something that you like. Give it an upvote, and then that'll be it. You guys are determining it.
The better fish was a fantastic comment, so we have no doubt that whatever comes through the comments is going to be elite stuff. So I'm a big fan of Sahith. I think he's a perfect GPP play because he is either boom or bust, Kenny. He's not safe. And I understand this. Sahith is one of these guys that you just don't find him being safe. He's almost got the same top 10 rate as a top 20 rate.
And here's the thing.
That's perfect for GPPs.
Here's the thing I'll give you. You want to catch a guy before everyone else does, right? That's the goal when it comes to GPPs. And so I could see the point. It's just the fact that he's not going to do it. That's the only thing that makes it bad. Cool.
Hey, you know what? I'm okay with this. I think it's something we can let live and let die.
Any Giuseppe love. We talked about him shortly.
Absolutely.
Right?
We spoke about TD Green prowess. This guy could absolutely ball strike the shit out of this place. We saw him putt on the John Deere, which I believe Iowa's got bent grass to. So the John Deere Classic is not a terrible comp for this golf course. And we've seen Sepp dominate that, by the way. So I also want to tell you real quick. I know we're going on complete tangents here, but I don't usually do these on shows. I kind of keep to the schedule. But
Wow.
Tom Kim has been 2 of my outrights, along with Cam Smith being 3. So the moment Cam Smith left the PGA Tour, I was in dire straits. And then Tom Kim showed up, and I got him twice of his 3 wins. I wasn't going to bet him at freaking 12-1 at the second Shriners he won. But you're pegging me against myself here, Kenny. I've been the Tom Kim whisperer in the past. So
yeah. Desert golf,
you know what I'm saying?
also Shriners. Desert golf.
Yeah, I know. But you know what? We'll give the people what they want. We'll go with Sahith and Tom. I feel like it's a fair matchup, and we can have a good time there. I love Giuseppe.
Which is the better Højgaard? Because Rasmus played his ass off at Pebble.
Rasmus is way better.
Is
he's
because Nikolai made the tour before Rasmus.
So
I
completely shit the bed. I think Nikolai finished second at the Farmers in his debut appearance. Didn't even play 27 other holes of practice rounds and finished second, and then played really well at the Masters. That's the only thing that had him even remotely close to being back on the tour. And I think Rasmus is just a better player. It seems like he's just constantly up there. So looking at his metrics, I've got Rasmus as a guy that's just inside the top 20 and half of his starts on the PGA on the DP World Tour. So he's definitely a very consistent option if you're looking for a $9,100, $9,200 play over there. Kenny, what about Bobby Mack? Starting to find a groove. I see he's got an analytics guy now that's helping him with his course management. I see he's got a new putting system, a new putting coach, a new putter, maybe a combination of both. A lot of big changes. Bobby Mack at 9K.
He's another guy that I think is miserable right now in life. I don't know. It just every time I see him, he just looks so fucking unhappy. Like either on social media or whatever. And he's a big family guy, right? He basically lived with his parents when he was playing the DP World Tour. All right. And is this his first full year on tour?
Last year was his first full year.
Last year. Okay. So maybe it's different. Maybe I'm overreaching here, but it just seems like he's miserable too, but I'm interested, but let's move on to the 8K range. For this range. And the 2 guys up top are the guys I've already talked about. Matt, right? He's going to be one of my favorite GPP plays. Well, I only have one GPP lineup really. So he's going to be on. I don't know if I can do Scheffler, Tom, and Matt. So I might. I don't know.
That's steep. That's steep.
That's steep. Then I'll just go straight low 6K. I don't know if I want to do that. So Mav might be my second guy in this lineup. We'll have to see how those lineups work. And we spoke about him. I also like Kitayama. Like just when it comes to like the stats that he looks for, he's the stat darling, right? Iron game was fucking flaming hot in the fall, right? Teeter Green has been incredible his last 6 events. Really good with his longer irons, good with his mid irons, top 10 off the tee, top 20 on par 4 efficiency from 450 to 500 yards. The stats just, I can't ignore them.
ATL last year, 23rd the year before.
Yeah, I can't ignore them. So I have to play him. And I like Luke Clinton a lot.
Yes.
And I think this is why you definitely can go full Scotty. Because this 8K and a 7K range, I feel like it's loaded. I feel
Loaded,
like
dude.
Even though the field doesn't look that great, when you're looking at plays on DFS and getting like, wow, I could get on board a lot of these dudes. And Luke is another one. Down here, 8,300, a third in my model. Tons of birdies, one of the best off the tee. Really good on long par 5s. He's everything you're looking for here. And didn't he finish pretty strong here a couple of times out? He's had some good finishes. I know he has. So I like Luke Clinton a lot too.
Yeah, Luke Clanton's someone that you can definitely like bank. I don't think he hasn't played here before, but this guy's like inside the top 10, like half of his starts. It's just been incredible what he's
first in strokes gained off the tee in his last 24 rounds in this field.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, with Scotty in here, it's hard to believe. I guess it's got to do with some like field bias and shit like that. But
Of course.
we get your point here, Kenny. I mean, the guy's freaking amazingly good. So he's going to be so much fun when he gets on the PGA Tour. What do you think? I think I'm not going to bet him, even though it was a suggestion for me in my placement tool that you can get in my Patreon at the Model Maniac. But the Max Griesemann $8,600 DFS play after a hand injury, Kenny, I understand if you're going to a single entry, you probably don't want to have him in that. But if you're playing multiple times, you can pop him in a few lineups because I think people will be off of him.
I think
And
he'll be
this
people
guy
off
can
of him too.
putt like a beast. He's got tons of distance off the tee. We can totally see him doing a Nick Taylor type thing, which by the way is also in the 8K range at $8,400 for Nick Taylor. So
I've
he's
been off of Griesemann for the few times he's been out, and it's paid off. This is when I would come back on.
Yeah,
I think you're correct. I only have one lineup. I don't think I'm going to have the balls to use them. But I think, if you're mass multi-entering, I think you're 100% correct.
absolutely. So I think he's someone you can absolutely look into. And I feel like I'm just kind of going off of a John Deere Classic comp here that I don't even have as my comps. But JT Poston, if you think about someone that can just get lightning hot with the putter, who's shown you some sprinklings of resurgence the last little while, won at TPC Summerlin, by the way, a desert golf course. Is the John Deere Classic in the desert? No, but the TPC Summerlin.
He's been horrible here, though, right?
He has been 2 missed cuts to finish the last 2 tournaments, but 23rd, 11th, 37th, and 26th before that.
So he has some good finishes, Byron.
Yeah. So the most recent finishes are shit, but he's also, TPC Summerlin.
Well, 2 years ago was a signature event. So he was playing against a lot stronger field. So that could probably lead to that miscut.
Potentially.
When it comes down to it. Yeah. I mean, Siwoo's interesting. What he did on Sunday at the Amex makes him interesting. I don't know how much I'll be on it, but this 7K range, these are where the rest of my cash game cornerstones are. That's how easy it is to really go with Scotty full board. Because my 3 cash game cornerstones, first one's going to be Billy Horschel at 7,600. Already talked about him. Next is going to be Sam Stevens at 7,500. Already talked about him on the betting segment. And then last, it's going to be, who was it, Novak?
Andrew Novak. I would definitely go with Novak as a cash game cornerstone.
I think it's Novak down here. Again, we talked about him. So those are my cash game cornerstones for this week. It's going to be Scheffler up top at like 12, whatever he is. Billy Horschel at 7,600. Sam Stevens at 7,500. Andrew Novak at 7,500. Now, I actually had a really tough time filling out the rest of the other 2. Like right now, I'm thinking like Nick Taylor and Gary Woodland. Gary playing good golf down here.
Never finished inside the top 20 in the last 5 times he's played Jackie.
Yeah, I know. But the thing is, he's finished in the last 3 times he's played on tour. He's had top 20s. So I'm going a little bit of form here. And again, a driver heavy course, he can give it a poke out there. He's made a shit ton of cuts. He doesn't miss the cut here very often, right? I forget his course history, but that's someone that I'm thinking of down here. Now, you might have talked me out of it right there. You might have been able to talk me out of it.
He's got 3 missed cuts, a 40th, a 42nd, and in 2019, he had his 7th. So his best finish in the last 5 years is a 40th.
Okay. All right, we'll see. But I do like the way he has been playing. That's the thing. So maybe
that's fair.
Maybe he's more of a GPP play because I do like course history a little bit better.
You don't think
down to it.
The West Coast swing has a lot to do with that? Like everyone thinks he's playing well because he's playing the Farmers, he's playing Pebble, gets his stuff going over there. Then he comes to a golf course. It doesn't really suit him that well, overall for what he gets up to.
Because I mean, it's not just the finishes; it's the stats. Like he's top 10 at tee to green in the last 24 rounds in this field, right?
Yeah.
He's top 5 in with it from 150 to 175. He's 8th in my model. He's top 20 in iron play. So that he's played 2 events in California. So those are 8 of his 24 rounds. But I just like the way he's been playing. Now, you might have talked me off, so we might have to keep talking and see who else I like. But I do like Charlie Hoffman at $7,200. You know what? That was actually my final cash game cornerstone, not Novak. I apologize. I'm changing it. It was not Andrew Novak. When you said it was, because I sent you my cash game cornerstones earlier, it's actually Charlie Hoffman. And it's because of the course history with Charlie Hoffman and his form. So if you look at all the guys that are in my cash game cornerstones, Scheffler Form's there. Of course, history is there. Horschel, form's there. Of course, history is there. Sam Stevens, form's there. Of course, history there. And then, of course, last but not least, Charlie Hoffman. Form is there. Of course, history is there. So that's why I'm taking it pretty simple with the cash game cornerstones. But like Ben Griffin interests me down here. Daniel Berger. What about you?
I want to shout out Tom Hoagie, who was the better fish play that we had last week, Kenny. I remember I literally said to you, bet Tom Hoagie top 20 because he's going to finish T18, and he finished freaking 70th at Pebble. Like, this is what you want to do with this guy. He just does not finish inside the top 10. He loves to live inside the teens. So, I mean, that's not a good thing to live your life by, but as a golfer, you want to live inside teens. And I think that's the way to go. So, Tom Hoagie, a top 20 bet this week, again, will be absolutely the way to go with the better fish bet of the week at $7,400. I love fading him in that department and just betting him. I would like to also mention once again, Matt Fitzpatrick is a very interesting situation.
Yes.
If he comes in low owned, this guy's got some really solid course history at this golf course. 15th, 10th, 29th. Good stuff. Showed a bit of form
hasn't been great, but it at least improved the last time.
Oh,
he finished 15th here last year, and coming into the event, he missed a cut and finished 58th in the 2 prior events. Coming in, his tee to green game was shit, right? Both those events. So when you look at his history, the last time he finished 15th at the Waste Management. At Pebble, he finished 58th. He lost 2.6 strokes tee to green, right? He missed the cut at Sony. That was a time before. He's coming into this event with his 2 previous events, not looking good. 48th at the Pebble, 24th at the Century, and it's only like 38 people in the field.
Yeah.
If
he's going to be low owned.
Yeah, if he's low owned, I mean, this could be the play. This could be the play. This could be the play down in GPPs. I think just because there was actual improvement from the Century to Pebble. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to his iron game, especially, he still gained strokes off the tee in both events, right? I liked it. I liked it. Like,
you don't have to. You don't have to encourage us much to do that because he's not going to be. You're not going to have to. Like, he's low owned. It's perfect. You know what I'm saying? Some other names: Seamus Power. Played really nicely. Been waiting for him to play again after some hip injuries at the RSM. Showed up nicely. Had a good finish here last year. I like it. Doug Gim. If you think about tee to green flushes, Kenny, and I'll just throw, is Doug Gim an Asian Lucas Glover? Is that basically who they are? Like, it's literally tee to green prowess, no distance, can't putt for shit.
Yeah. Lucas is unbelievable on Sunday. Like, every time he hit an iron shot, it was within 15 feet, and he never made a putt. He should just cheat like Bernard Longer. Like, he's doing the putter, but he's keeping his thumb and his hand so far away from his chest. Like, he doesn't even want an
blue collar motherfucker. I love that.
He doesn't even want an inkling of people thinking he's cheating. Right? And that's why he does it. But I think it's fucking him because you gotta get that thumb sort of closer, higher up, really, to get a good stroke using that broomstick. I mean, like, they're not calling it. Lucas, you're like 42. The career's almost over, bro. You're still striping it you're still striping the ball like this at your age, right? After getting beat to shit by your wife, right? On a routine basis. Your wife is a man beater, is a husband beater. And you have to deal through all that. And you're living your life right now. Fucking cheat. They're not fucking calling it. Jam that fucking thumb up your chest and win like 7 fucking tournaments this season. Get to like number 2 in the world. This is your shot, brother. The PGA don't give a fuck about no rules, right? Just jam that fucking shit as close as you can. It's wear baggy shirts.
He loves the cutoffs.
And then start making putts, because what I saw on Sunday was spectacular ball striking. Like spectacular. Like, they showed like every shot of his for some reason. And because everything was within 15 feet.
Yeah. Yeah. And Kenny, you just said at the beginning of the show in your course preview, this is one of the easiest putts to make from 10 to 15 feet or 5 to 15 feet, right?
I'm talking myself into Lucas Glover.
Is the complete opposite. Like, it's so much more difficult from that range where Lucas Glover finds himself all the goddamn time. Absolute smash play. Lucas Glover at hour 20 into the show, hour 25. Who gives a shit? We are rocking and rolling. Let's talk about Matt Kuchar as we get out of here, along with a little bit of Michael Thorbjornsson until we get into the sixes. But don't forget Nick Dunlap at $7,000 either if you're looking for that kind of thing. In the sixes, Kenny, we got Jake, Knapp, Nico Echeverria. Give me all of Nico Echeverria at this golf. Give me Bud Cauley at this golf course if you're looking for some course history. This guy, no one's going to be playing him. He's got the 19th best strokes gained course history for me. So I'll hand it over to you for the top of the sixes and to the bottom of the sixes. Then I'll wrap it up with the bottom, once you're done.
Joe Highsmith, I'm a fan. Really grades out well in the stat model for me this week at like 6,500. He's actually had some decent finishes in the fall. Like you could see that there is like potential and talent there. So I do like Highsmith down at 6,500. One of his better things is he's really good on those long par fours. Other guys, KH Lee. I do like a lot of Koreans this week. I don't mind KH Lee, TPC Lee down here as a guy that no one's going to play that you can throw in there for Rico Hui at 67. I'm a fan of his. He can bomb it out there. It makes a shit ton of birdies. Usually, that birdie streak has been going downhill a little bit here recently, but you know that he has game and he has talent. And sometimes it's all it takes when it goes down to this, 6K range.
Kenny, I've got Chris Ventura at $6,600. He's 13th in my model for ball striking. He's $6,600. Like, if that's not a green light 6K play, I'm in. Like, Chris Ventura has been playing some solid golf too, I think, over the last little while. If you take a look at what he's been up to, 4th at the Farmers for Chris Ventura. What are we doing here? That literally is in the winning contest there for your last 5 rounds of golf. That guy is literally inside that top 7. So give me some of him. I think Carson Young is a great option in this department as well. He's a ball striking freaking beast. He's someone I'll be definitely looking to go to. I think Mathieu Pavon is someone that I will just be playing as long as he's like bare minimum price. I'll just be sprinkling him into lineups regardless.
He just comes out of nowhere, right?
He just comes out of nowhere. Like, it's literally, I can't tell you any other reason why other than the fact that he just comes out of nowhere. And he does it more likely in the bigger events. So maybe, I don't know about this week, but I think he's someone to take a peek at. And then Patton Kazaya. He's at $6,300 as well, doing some good things on the ball striking and around the green over there. He's very, very solid from 100 to 150. So don't know why I mentioned that. He's actually very good too from 150 to 200. So I like a lot of Patton Kazaya as a ball striking banana in the 6K range. Kenny, one and done. The Slider Cup must have been a fun contest to be in with all of those Euros at the top of the board last week.
Yeah, of course. I went Pendrith, so it ended up okay. He was 9th. But I went Keegan as the American, which wasn't that great. But I'm still in the top 10, I think, in the Slider Cup. In the Mayo Cup, I'm not doing great. I think I went Justin Thomas. Now, he did awesome in DFS because he made a shit ton of eagles, but he finished 48th, which is not that much money. So this week, Billy Horschel is someone that comes to mind, Billy or Tom Kim. And I could use both in the Slider Cup. We'll see.
I'm going to be going with Sayed Thagala as my one and done. I feel like this is the one spot to play him. And no one's going to be playing him. So give me a guy that can potentially win this thing. It's me, it's Sayed, it's Tom and Kenny. Let's go, baby. I love it. It's the matchup of the century. Yeah. So we're going to have a fun time going into all of this. We really appreciate all of you guys tuning into Fantasy Golf Degenerates for the wasted management over in the Phoenix area. As always, this show is brought to you by Underdog. Use code Mayo to get yourself $1,000 deposit bonus on your first deposit over there. Don't forget to check out Kickback Golf because of all the reasons we gave earlier. I can't remember what they were. And then always go check out my Patreon, The Model Maniac. I've got everything for you. Kenny was speaking about strokes gained in between tournament rounds. I've got that for you in that model too. Got some one and done models, all of that jazz. I have got everything for you. So Kenny,
what is strokes gained in between tournament? What is that?
Rounds. Strokes gained in between tournament rounds. So like for Showdown, if you're looking for like ball striking after round 1, round 2, I've got that for you.
Okay.
Terrible. I mean, 4.5, whatever's these in. Apologies.
Keystone Light,
okay,
baby.
all right.
Keystone Light, baby.
Keystone Light, baby.
You can find me on X at KendoVT. I'll post my final card there. Any underdog bets, there will be plenty of underdog bets this week for the Super Bowl and for golf. So make sure you go to KendoVT on X. All right. Should be a fun week. Everyone's getting fucked up. People in the stadium is going to get fucked up. It's going to be a fucked up weekend. Let's win some motherfucking money. DJ Nation.
I've been getting dirty money, Jordan.